they're going to make billions of dollars and you'll get no credit. So every time I see Harley, I think of poor Bruce. I'm like,
yeah, they're
She's laughing at me. I'm sticking my tongue out.
I'm laughing at you. That's right. No, I'm laughing because he's a funny guy. So we've got. They've just told me we've got 5 minutes. So all right, let's jump into it. So I know because I am savvy that you were a fan of this when you were a child, and I was as well. So I appreciate that. So coming into that as something where you were a fan, what was your experience getting into the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well, the one thing about Turtles was that it would be the thing. I've worked on a lot of projects, and Turtles would always be happening somewhere, somehow, and I would not be a part of it. And I would just watch it go by and be like, damn, I miss Turtles again. And then I would be like, whatever. I did something cool instead, and that's not my Turtles. So finally, to be able to finally get to do my Turtles, I mean, when I went in to pitch it was so exciting to be able to just go like, this is my version of it, and for them to just say, hey, that sounds good, let's try it.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's really like a lot of it was just love for the original series, the original comic series, the Mirage Volume 1.
Right, right. And of course the original animated series was also, a big part of all of that. So I know that there are a lot of references to the, or some references to the old series and everything, as well as, of course, the same mythology. I loved when they had Michelangelo with the mask. That was great. So is that something that you do, or the writers do, or everyone does together, or how's that all work out?
It depends. I mean, back then it was more me doing it because, the writers were just kind of more focused on the story. Now I have a little bit of a different relationship with my story editor. So, I mean, we'll do things now where it used to be just the board artists were adding things that were like what you were talking about, which is way more visual. Now it's a little bit more tied in. Like we watch the old series sometimes, and we'll actually reuse lines and stuff like that. Like we find ways to slip it in that's not even overt. It just starts to feel like the brand.
So super fans might notice, but
yeah,
not
I mean,
everybody.
people will call it out. They'll be like, "Oh my God, that was like this episode where Mikey said this," and you'll be like, "Wow, that's so weird." Because we'll watch it and go, "Oh, let's write that down." We put it up on the wall.
That's fantastic. Now, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was not your first project, so can you tell me a little bit about your background in, or tell the viewers a little bit about your background in all of this?
I started in animation years ago. Like when I first got to LA, my first job was on Family Guy as a board artist. Actually, a revisionist, storyboard artist. And then I went. I did a bunch of other stuff online, and eventually I found my way, in terms of bigger jobs, to Warner Brothers. Eventually there I became a director on Teen Titans. That's where I met Sipes for the first time. He was Beast Boy. He was Garfield Logan. And then after that, I moved around a lot. I went to Disney. I had my own show there called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, which Sipes was in as well. He was a boy who found a giant robot that was inhabited by cyborg chimps, and he learned the power of Monkey Fu and fought demons from hell, basically. It was awesome.
Fantastic.
We did that in Japan. That was a great period of my life.
Were you actually in Japan doing that? Oh, great.
Back and
how
forth
long were you there?
I was there. I mean, we would do that project for almost, it was like 4 years.
Okay, wow.
And during that time, I was back and forth a lot, sometimes months at a time. Then
did you learn some Japanese while you were okay?
Skoshi. Shoto.
That's great.
So I also... after that, I bumped back around some of the studios. I did some more stuff for Warner Bros. I did some Batman stuff. I was the showrunner on Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes for the first season. Which was great, like getting to do like your Marvel thing. And then, I think that kind of segued right into Turtles. Like,
that's fantastic.
I didn't really have any time off in between those gigs, so Turtles just kept rolling. Like, that's what you do. You work. I mean, while you're on one project, you try and get the next one going.
So now, I as I said, I watched the original show, and when the new one came around, I have to admit, I haven't watched any of the ones in between. The new one came around, I was like, but I watched it because, Rob's on it, and I love Rob as a voice actor, and, everything, and I just love it. It's fantastic. It has a lot of humor and a lot of heart, and was that part of your vision? Was that, is that something that you wanted to bring to it?
I mean, the whole thing that we always wanted to do was to make it, like, make the fighting more accurate, make the funny, and then make like actually have a strong sense of drama. You know, like
right.
I'm one of those kids. Like the first movie that kind of blew my mind was Empire Strikes Back. So the thing that you could say about Empire is that's the show where the heroes get their ass kicked and lick their wounds a lot. And there's something about that, you know, like to actually have that sense of gravity and loss and stakes means a lot. So to balance that against humor is perfect, you know.
That's really cool.
And I work with funny guys. Like I think we genuinely try to be really funny and scary all the time.
Yeah. Well, all right, we'll do one more question. Oh, okay. All right, we're getting kicked out. Okay, so very quickly, I heard that the original 1987 cast is coming back. I mean, obviously Rob's already on the show. So how's that going to work out? I mean,
well, it's actually, not to blow it out of proportion, it's just a big cameo.
Okay.
So, but it's great. I mean, without giving too much away, the turtles get lost into some dimensional portals, and they kind of look into the 80s a little bit.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is great.